Alrighty, I'm going to go ahead and start. Um, Welcome. Thank you all for attending. Let's see, welcome to Cadets and Emergency Services, Back to the Future. My kind of hope for today is to, to show everyone all the different roles and activities and things that are open to cadets and emergency services, and hopefully inspire a couple of cadets that are here to pursue some of those and get their qualifications in them. So I start off with a little bit about me. I'm Cadet Captain Winther from the Phoenix Cadet Squadron. I was the first cadet in the nation to receive my RADO qualification from FEMA, which is MRO. It's the FEMA version. I was one of three cadets, or one of three people under the age of 18, one of the first three people to attend a RADO class and complete it. I have earned my technician rating in the communications through Civil Air Patrol. I've earned my senior rating in ground team and emergency services through Civil Air Patrol. I have 2 fines under my belt, and I am currently in the delayed entry program for the United States Marine Corps. So after I graduate in end of May, a little while after, a couple months, I'll be shipping off to San Diego to go through Marine Corps boot camp. So that's a little bit about me, the qualifications that are available to cadets. With this, I'm doing cadets 18 and under, or not, sorry, 17 and under. Once you're 18, they pretty much all open up to you besides a couple. But the ones that are available are CERT, or the Community Emergency Response Team, CUL, which is Communications Unit Leader, a DAARTU, or Domestic Operation Awareness and Assessment Response Tool User, a FLM, a Flight Line Marshaller, a Ground Team Member 1, 2, and 3, Mission Radio Operators, Mission Staff Assistants, a Small Unmanned Aerial Vehicle Mission Pilot. For that, you do have to be 16, but you can be a Small Unmanned Aerial Vehicle Aerial System Technician, or the Urban Direction or part of an Urban Direction Finding team. So a couple going into more detail on each of these. CERT this is an organization outside of Civil Air Patrol that is trained in basic search and rescue techniques so that they may quickly start helping their communities. It's mostly just community response until FEMA can start stepping in, and then they'll be sent to take care of their own. The volunteers will be sent to take care of their own houses and things like that. If you're interested in this, reach out to your local fire department. They're normally the ones who do the training, or they would know who to let you get in contact with. Then there is the DAARTU. That's a mouthful. This is DART is used to assist local authorities in responding to a natural disaster or a national special security event. CAP uses this to send real-time assessments to the incident command staff as well as Civil Air Patrol's customers. So with this, it's basically a program that is on some CAP aircraft that they use to send, or is pretty much a camera, and that'll be broadcast back to the ICP or Incident Command Post to be sent off to either the customer, or that it can help the command staff kind of figure out what to do next and what they need to focus on. Let's see, MROs are radio handlers. They're both sending and receiving messages, both in the fields as well as in the instant command post. So if you like communicating on the radios, this is a great thing, great experience. It's pretty easy to get. It's you're very vital. It's a very fun position. Then above them, or another position that you can hold, is the communications unit leader. This person is in charge of the MROs at the incident command post. They're also, you will also be in charge of writing or filling out the the ICS form 205 and 205 alpha. What those are is the 205 is your communications plan for the mission, exercise, training, whatever it is. That will basically go over which repeaters to use in which areas and what they're used for, as well as how to use things like TAC1 and CapGuard. And then the 205 Alpha is a contact list for the incident command team. If someone needs to get a hold of them. So that's pretty much the two forms you'll have to fill out. You don't get to talk on the radios as much, but you do get more leadership experience. And then in the background, I have the EF Johnson 5100, 5300, and then the radios that they're currently being worked on replaced by, which is the Motorola Apex 4000, which is the handheld right there, and then the Apex 45,000 or 4500, my apologies, which is the mobile and base station right there. A couple other positions that cadets can hold is a member of an urban direction finding team. This is an urban direction finding team is pretty much a ground team that knows how to use the equipment using the equipment that we use to find ELTs. They will be both sent out on to ramp checks, so checking all the aircraft at an airport, as well as going out into the field and looking for a missing plane or an ELT that is going off. So if you like a little bit of technology mixed in with your hiking, that's an awesome one to do. Then there's a flight line marshaller. They are probably a pilot's best friend. The flight line marshalers will make sure that the area around the aircraft is safe at all times. They will direct the airplanes around the ramp. Let's see, as well as parking, as well as helping the pilot know where to park, as well as fueling and tying down the aircraft. If you like working with aircraft, this is a very fun one to do. Let's see. We also have a couple of others. The ground team member 3 is a basic qualification for a ground team. Then we have a ground team member 2, which is more knowledgeable. There's a couple extra tasks of things that they need to do to achieve this, and they will assist with training ground team member 3s. Then ground team member 1, as a cadet, is the highest ground team ranking you can get. You're very knowledgeable. You will assist the ground. You're very knowledgeable. You will assist with training ground team members 3 as well as ground team member 2s. They can also assist the ground team leader with leading the team and making some strategic decisions. So you're very much able to lead while in that position. Um, ground and ground teams are will be ground pounders. They're also working on you will one of the missions that we're kind of rotating into or changing into is going out and setting up FOBs or forward operating bases that small UAS teams can operate out of and work out of. So those are kind of the two different things that you can do as a ground team member. Now, a small UAS or small unmanned aerial systems. You can be there's kind of two roles in this. You can either be a mission pilot. Unfortunately, you will need to obtain a Part 107 license or a drone license. And in order to obtain your Part 107, you'll need to be at least 16 years old. And unfortunately, if you are younger than 16, you can become a small UAS technician, and they will support the pilot in completion of the mission. This is a good way to become a pilot, as you will be able to learn a lot from the pilot. They will be able to help you, and as a Part 107 licensed pilot, they don't have to be the one flying the drone. As long as they are watching you, you will be able to fly the drone. I'm not sure if that is allowed in CAP, but at least in the professional world, that is allowed. Sorry, I got my dog down here helping me. Then finally is the mission staff assistant. In this role, you can do almost any job. You will help the person that are in that role to do their job. That is, you should be helping that person complete their job, whether looking things up, entering in missions or something for them, but you should be helping them actually complete their job, or actually do their job. My apologies. If that is not how you're treated, then talk to them and after talk to their supervisor, because you are not coffee runners. In the past, especially, there was a lot of people that treated MSAs like coffee runners, and that is no longer a thing. That's no longer going to be a thing, and that is just not proper. So if you are being treated like a coffee runner, or really dumb medial tasks, talk to someone about it, because that's not how you should be treated, especially as an MSA. The reason for all of that is to show that there are plenty of positions available to cadets. There's not just MSA, MRO, and ground team. We need to let the cadets fill them and learn, because they are the future of this program and of this country. They need to be able to learn, or you need to be able to learn the skills that these positions can teach you, and these are a very good thing. Then the kind of last couple of things that I want to cover are the National Cadet Special Activities for Emergency Services, or at least the three big ones. Let me go back. There is Hawk Mountain, Desert Scorpion, and NISA, or the National Emergency Services Academy. So Desert Scorpion is a week-long course to develop future emergency services leaders in communications, incident command staff, and field operators to conduct operations in any place at any time. It is the 13th through the 18th of June of this year, and it will be held at the historic Wendover Airfield in Wendover, Utah, at the same place as Utah Wing encampments, or same place, same time as Utah Wing encampment. Then there's also the National Emergency Services Academy. which is they're focused on high quality training based on the national standard and implemented by a dedicated staff that is repeatable year after year with an emphasis on safety, progression, and member development. There are multiple week-long classes spread out starting the 24th of July and then the first one will start the 24th of July, the last one will end on the 7th of August, 2021 this year. You would have to look at their website to find out all the different classes that they have and when they're being held. And then it will be at Camp Otterbury Joint Maneuver Training Center in Franklin, Indiana. Then finally is Hawk Mountain or Ranger School. It builds leaders for Civil Air Patrol emergency services that are experts in wilderness search and rescue and disaster response, operating in challenging, protracted, and austere search environments, and leading the way and advising Civil Air Patrol ground search and rescue capabilities. It is the 10th through the 18th of July in 2021, and it is at the Hawk Mountain Ranger School in Annabelle, Pennsylvania. This one is pretty much you will go out into a field, you will set up camp and do search and rescue for the week, and then when you leave, you'll make it look like you were never there. This is a very high intensity, highly motivated school. Unfortunately, that's all the information that I really have. But are there any questions at this time? Alrighty. That's all I really had. Hopefully I showed that, there are quite a few positions, definitely more than a half that cadets can fill in the emergency services realm. And hopefully I inspired a couple of cadets to pursue some of those. Thank you all. And yes.
Because I was late in joining, could you your presentation again?
Of course. If anyone would, if anyone would like to stick around, or everyone else can leave if they have no questions.
I have a question.
All right.
So I'm interested in doing Desert Scorpion, but I was told to sign up for it. You do it through emergency services. But do you, by any chance, know when the cutoff for applications is?
So I believe since it's a national cadet special activity, I'm not sure, because I thought that you could apply for them up until late whenever. But I was trying to help a cadet join or apply for that earlier, and he wasn't able to, because I think it said something about March 1st was the last time you could join, or last time you could apply. So I would email Colonel Fernandez and Lieutenant Colonel Cook and ask them what they would like you to do, or if you could. The other problem is that they're only accepting 24 students this year, since this is their first year as a National Cadet Special Activity, even though it's the third year of running the program. And I believe most of those positions are already filled, so it may be full.
All right, thank you. I appreciate the information.
Yep, not a problem. Anyone else have any questions? All right. So the positions, I'm going to go through this again. The positions that are available to cadets 17 years of age and under are CERT, or Community Emergency Response Team, Communications Unit Leader, Domestic Operations Awareness and Assessment Response Tool User, Flightline Marshaller, Ground Team Members 1, 2, and 3, Mission Radio Operators, Mission Staff Assistants, SUAS Mission Pilots, SUAS Technicians, and Urban Direction Finding Team Members. So with that, CERT, and this is an organization outside of Civil Air Patrol. They are trained in basic search and rescue techniques, and their main goal is to go out and help the community with either standing up emergency response stations, or possibly going out and looking for people and helping them. They're kind of a backup first responders, I guess is kind of the way to put that. We'll go out and start helping set these things up and looking for people pretty much until FEMA is able to get there, or they're able to actually set up a command structure, and then they will possibly stay and help, or they will be dismissed. If you're interested in that, reach out to your local fire department. They'll normally have the information on how to do it. Then there is the Domestic Operations Awareness and Assessment Response Tool users. This is basically a camera system that are on some aircraft that will kind of present send back to the command staff, or Civil Air Patrol's customers, as we refer to them, kind of a 3D image or video to where they can look and figure out what needs to take priority and what we're kind of looking for. Then after that, there is the MRO, or the Mission Radio Operator. What they will do is they will send and receive traffic or radio communications, both in the field as well as at the incident command post. It's both sending and receiving messages. Then above them, or working with them, is the Communications Unit Leader, which they are the person above the MROs, that if the MROs need something, they will go through them to the command staff, and if the command staff needs something sent out, they will go through the CUL to the MROs. This Communications Unit Leader will also be the person who will write the communications plan, or the ICS 205, as well as the ICS 205A, or Alpha, which is kind of the basic plan, or the contact information for the incident command team. All right. Wrong way. All right. Now there's also the Urban Direction Finding Team member, which is a member of it's normally a ground team made up of multiple UDF qualified personnel that are knowledgeable in the equipment that we use for finding ELTs, both while doing ramp checks, so walking around airport, checking those aircraft, as well as in the field looking for possible downed aircraft or things like that. Then there's also flight line marshalers. These are kind of a pilot's best friend. The flight line marshaller will make sure that the aircraft or the area around the aircraft is safe during startup and shutdown. They will direct the airplanes out to the runway, as well as bring them in from the runway, or multiple FLMs will bring them in from the runway or from the taxiway, my apologies, to where they'll be parked. They will also assist the pilot with fueling and other tasks such as that. Then there are the ground team members, which are 3 different levels. Ground team member 3 being the lowest, ground team member 1 being the second highest, or the highest that you can get as a cadet, and then the ground team leader being above them, but that is normally a senior member, or at least a person above the age of 18. So the ground team member 3 is the basic qualification for ground team. Be going out into the field, looking at, and employing those basic search techniques to find missing hiker, a downed aircraft, or whatever that could be. Ground team member 2s, they're a bit more knowledgeable. They have a couple of extra skills that they need to sign off in order to get that qualifications, and they will normally assist with helping train ground team member 3s. Then above them is the ground team member 1. They're very knowledgeable, and there's quite a few other specialties that they're at least are familiar with and know how to do. They will assist in training ground team member 3 as well as ground team member 1s. They can also assist the ground team leader with leading the team, and if there's a hasty search or something along the lines of that, they will also be be able to lead and help with that. Then there's actually I'm going to go back. So the 2 main missions there are right now, or I guess 3 for ground team members, are going out to the field and looking for ELTs with the UDF or as a UDF team, looking for missing persons in the field, as well as setting up and forward operating bases for the either for other teams or small UAS teams. So there are 2 positions that cadets can fill on the small UAS, at least currently. There is the small UAS mission pilot. Unfortunately, you will need a Part 107 license or a drone license, and in order to obtain that, you have to be at least 16 years old. If you aren't, at least in the professional world, I'm not sure about the Civil Air Patrol world, in order to fly the drone, you don't need to have your Part 107's license, but the person in charge of you will have to have their license. So as long as the actual pilot is there with you, you can quite possibly be flying the drone as a technician, which they will support the pilot in the mission in any way that the pilot really needs help. This is a good way to become a pilot if that's something you want to do, because you'll be able to learn from the pilot and have them help instruct you. Then the final kind of position is the mission staff assistant. In this role, you can do almost any job. You will help the person in that role to do their job. If that's not how you are being treated, then talk to them. And if the situation still doesn't improve, then talk to their supervisor. Quite simply because you are not coffee runners. You are there to help them complete their job and help them do what they need to do. The reason for all of that was to show that there are plenty of positions that are available for. We just need to have cadets fill them and learn either how to do those positions or learn from the experiences they have in those positions, because they are the future of this program as well as of this country. Then the National Cadet Special Activities for that kind of tie into emergency services. There is Desert Scorpion, which is a week-long course to develop future emergency services leaders in communications, instant command staff, and field operations to conduct operations in any place at any time. It'll be held the 13th through 18th of June 2021 at the historic Wendover Airfield in Wendover, Utah. Next, there's the National Emergency Services Academy. It is focused on high quality training based on the national standard and implemented by a dedicated staff, that is repeatable year after year with an emphasis on safety, progression, and member development. There are multiple week to 2 week long classes that will be held throughout the 24th of July through the 7th of August, 2021. If you want to go on their website and look there, they have a list of all the classes they have and when those classes are. And I'll be at Camp Otterberry Joint Maneuver Training Center in Franklin, Indiana. And finally, there's the Hawk Mountain Ranger School. This will build leaders for Civil Air Patrol emergency services that are experts in wilderness search and rescue and disaster response, operating in challenging areas, austere search environments, and leading the way in advancing CAP's ground search and rescue capabilities. It'll be held the 10th through the 18th of July, 2021, and it'll be held at the Hawk Mountain Ranger School in Annaville, Pennsylvania. This is a very high intensity, quick paced kind of school where you'll show up the first day and being hazed, and you'll set up your class. And then when you leave on the 18th, you'll make it look like you were never there. At this time, are there any questions? Alrighty. Well, thank you all for attending. Let's see, there's probably 20 minutes left in a couple other classes if you want to go and see if you can catch the tail ends of that, but thank you all for attending. I'll stay behind if there's any questions.